It's Futures Friday, and we're going to talk about how Lukáš Dostál is going to win the Vezina in the future, and much more on this episode of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome, everydayer. Thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You heard that right, $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I'm Kyle Carr, and I'm a lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan, and I have covered collegiate sports for multiple years, including college hockey, but today we're talking Anaheim Ducks. First, we're going to look into why Dostál is going to be a Vezina Trophy winner in the next 3 years. Then we're going to look at the Futures Friday, just kind of going over some of the prospects and how their seasons ended. And then looking at the week ahead for the Ducks. And it is, unfortunately, the last week of regular season. And that means it's the last week for Anaheim. Very sad to think about. It's been real. It's been fun. It hasn't been real fun, but it was a very improvement-filled season. So we'll definitely be fond of the memories. But now let's talk about why Lukáš Dostál is going to be a Vezina Trophy winner in the next 3 seasons. 4 years ago, Lukáš, he played his first NHL game in the 21-22 season. He only played 4 games that season, and then the next season he played 19. Last season he played 44 games, and now this season he's at least played 52 games. And with the last few games, he could be playing at least 1 or 2 of those games. And his save percentage in all of that time has been going up. The interesting thing about this season is that he wasn't expected to play as many games as he did this season. I mean, obviously, the plan was to get him more adjusted to being the number one goaltender. However, with Gibson's injuries, it kind of led to Dostál getting more starts than was expected for him. But it overall turned into a very great experience type season as the whole entire core of the Ducks are growing. So he stood on his head, jumped right into the challenge, and he did really, really well. Looking at his save percentages over the last few years, obviously that 4-game season, we're not going to count that. But at the 22-23 season, he had a .901. Then in the 23-24 season, he had a .902 save percentage. And then looking at this year so far, the 24-25 season, he's at a .903 save percentage. So if you're looking at the next couple of years here, obviously the shots that he saw this year, he saw a lot, and there wasn't the most strong defense in front of him as the Ducks are starting to get their feet wet and really getting used to playing those crunch time minutes and understanding how to apply the little things right every single game. So the defense in front of him is going to step up, and I could see his numbers not only increasing by the 1.01% or 0.001%, but actually really jumping up more and more as the team in front of him gets more comfortable, especially with that chemistry being built with him in the net behind them. So next year he could be at a 9.05, and then we're looking at a 9.10, and then possibly into the 920s in 3 years. So I definitely see a lot of improvement in Dostál's game, and he will be a Vezina Trophy winner in 3 seasons from now, at least, especially if the Ducks can really put on a dominant season in front of him and end up in the playoffs. Dostál being the netminder behind a playoff-ready Anaheim Ducks team can only be just an absurd goaltender. And that's why I think that he's going to be the Vezina Trophy winner. Because getting Anaheim in, there's still a lot of kinks to work out, but getting them into the playoffs will just boost his candidacy that much more. Another thing that has decreased is his goals against. So, whereas his save percentage increased, his goals against per game has decreased. His goals against average in 22-23 was a 3.78 goals against average. Then in 23-24, he had a 3.33 goals against average. And now this season, he's looking at a 3.11 goals against average. So again, just decreasing those numbers as he starts getting more comfortable and there's more chemistry that could even make a more dramatic jump into the twos. And I don't think he could ever get to sub two, but hey, that would be fantastic. Dostal did see 1,561 shots so far this year, putting him at 9th in the league of shots faced. So out of where the Ducks are, for him to see the 9th most shots, that definitely means that they were letting a lot go to him, but he was saving a lot as well. Currently, he is 24th in the league for games won. However, with the entire team coming of age and this more, the higher danger chances are going to decrease. There's going to be a lot more system and structure in front of him. And I just see it really helping him bump up. I could see him being up in the top 10 very, very soon on wins versus the rest of the league. This year, though, it was a major jump in regards to experience, not only for Lukáš Dostál, but the entire Ducks squad, as they were in a little bit of a playoff chase. They kind of were grasping at straws trying to get into the playoffs, but it was there. And they really are starting to get that understanding and chemistry of what it really takes to be a playoff winner. And I think they kind of finally got that itch this season. And this offseason is just going to give them plenty of time to really resonate and collect themselves and kind of come really close together. You could see there's some blossoming friendship between Goche and Leo Carlson. And I know Dostal is in that mix with McTavish and Zegras as they all kind of entered around the same time. So it's just going up from here. The Ducks are in a very lucrative spot right now. It is unfortunate that the regular season for this year is coming to an end, but it's almost a good thing. Like, we're that much closer to the next season and that next jump of Anaheim success. So, speaking of the next jump of Anaheim success, we're going to have our Future Friday segment after this, talking about the prospect pipeline and how things are looking below the NHL squad. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So $5, there's so many things that you can bet on. Boom, 250 bucks extra right there if your bet wins. And I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same game parlay for a chance to win big. So don't miss out. Head to fanduel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. All right, time to get into Futures Friday, my weekly segment where I talk about the club's prospect pool and how things are going with San Diego and the players out in juniors, Europe, and everything like that. We have to start off this segment, though, talking about a new signing that occurred this week. The Ducks signed center Kerry Terrence to a 3-year entry-level contract beginning with the 25-26 season. So he's not going to jump into this end of the season and scratch off a year. He's waiting until next year, but he has officially signed his 3-year entry-level deal. A little bit about Terrence. He played with the Erie Otters in the OHL this year. He was named captain of the Otters, and he had a 20-goal season with 19 assists for a total of 39 points. So absolutely playing well out there for the Otters. And for all of my American fans out there, he was involved in the back-to-back USA World Junior Championship gold medals in the last 2 championship tournaments. And he also got gold for US in 2023 with the U18 US team. So definitely got some winning in his blood. He's been there. He knows how to be a dominant center and was the captain of the team. So absolutely looking forward to him playing for San Diego and Anaheim next year. Now looking at some of the other prospects out there that are the top scorers in the pipeline. This is just based on the amount of points that they got this season with their respective clubs. So no bias on whether or not they're a better player or not a better player. This is just based off of how many points they had in their league. So first off, we got Beckett Seneca. He's been absolutely dominant. I've been talking about him every single week, and he continues to light it up. He hasn't been making it into the lineup for the Oshawa Generals in the playoffs. I'm not sure if he's injured or what's going on there. I tried to look it up. I'm not seeing any news announcing that he's injured or anything like that. Just not on the roster when in the last couple. So with his season, though, he had 35 goals, 50 assists, and a total of 86 points out there. Sorry, that has to be 36 goals, not 35. I had a typo there. And he's, like I said, just playing very, 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 very well out in Oshawa. Now, he's just to give you a little heads up, he is a right winger, and obviously the Generals are part of the OHL. Then we got Alexander Blaze, or Alexandra Blaze. Not sure exactly how he wants it to be pronounced. We'll just say Alex Blaze. He's a left wing and center. He plays in the QMJHL in Quebec. So this year he had 20 goals, 53 assists for a total of 73 points. So he has definitely been moving the puck well out there. And then we got Ethan Prochizin, who's a center. He plays in the OHL with 34 goals, 30 assists for a total of 64 points. Another Ducks prospect that's been lighting it up. And then next we've got Taryn Smith. He's a defenseman. This is what I found him pretty awesome. A defenseman is up in the top 5 of, or tops, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, top 4 of the Ducks prospects when it comes to points. He's in the WHL. He had 16 goals and 44 assists for a total of 60 points. Just lighting it up as an offensive defenseman in the WHL. Then moving over to Europe, Artyom Galamov. He's a center and a left winger. He can kind of go between the two. He plays in the KHL. He has 35 goals, 24 assists for a total of 59 points. And that is a legit men's league out there. It's second to none. Basically, if it's the Europe's NHL. So he is playing against legitimate contenders. Guys from the NHL are in that league. There's tons of competition, and he is having that good of success out there. That's really good to see. And then our man, Sasha Pastyav, he's tied with Maxim Massey with the points wise, but a lot of Pastyav's points are in San Diego. So they had 59 points this season. 43 of Pastyav's points were with San Diego. And then Maxim Massey, he's in the QMJHL. So lots of Ducks lighting it up. That's just 6 of the prospects that we're talking about right there, or 7 that are lighting up the league right now, and in their respective leagues, they're getting goals, and that's what Pat Verbeek is looking for. We need goal scorers, we need points, and obviously it's a completely different scoring world when it comes to the NHL. The game is a lot faster. There's a lot less space. There's a lot more strong defensemen out there. But to have these guys getting that success at their respective leagues, they're just going to come up and keep pushing the limits for the players that are on the Ducks right now. And the San Diego Gulls, a little bit of an update on how things have been going with them. They have 4 games left. They're actually currently playing against the Bakersfield Condors, and they are 9 points out of the playoffs. So, unfortunately, there is no chance, and you know what, for the Gulls to make it to the playoffs this year. So, really kind of upsetting. They did drop the last 3 games, 2 to Iowa and then 1 to the Abbotsford Canucks. And that kind of sealed the deal on them not making the playoffs as the Roadrunners kept jumping up in points. And so 2 clubs, no playoffs. I was really hoping that they would get that experience this year down in the AHL, but that's okay. We'll build them for next year. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be postseason central for the Ducks squad and the Gulls next year. So definitely a lot to look forward to with the guys there that we listed that are coming up in the juniors and Europe. And we've got Pistachios in San Diego lighting things up. There's so many. Tristan Leno's been doing really well. The guys that came up this year, Sam Colangelo, Nikita Nesterenko, they've been doing good. So obviously, San Diego is doing good things for the players in a development standpoint. Yeah, they're not making the playoffs, but the players are getting developed. They are getting the experience that they need to become professionals and work their way into the NHL squad. Now, talking about the future of the Ducks and the last week of the season, got a little bit of a preview on what to expect and how the end of the season is going to play out. There's nothing like the energy of a live game, whether it's catching a last minute MLB showdown or soaking in the excitement of an NBA matchup, but finding great seats at a great price, that used to be a challenge until I found Game Time. Game Time makes scoring last minute tickets easier than ever. Prices actually drop as the event gets closer, and with their all in pricing, you see the total cost up front, no surprises at checkout. And here's why I love using Game Time. You go in there, you got last minute deals, save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. You can get last minute seats for Sunday's game against Colorado and Anaheim. I mean, it's literally easier to score a last minute goal than it was for Cutter Goche to tie up the game against the Calgary Flames. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONNHL. So LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And now, time to look at the week ahead. And yes, I keep saying it, but it's still not sinking in. It is the last week of the regular season and the last week of Ducks hockey for a few months. We're going to be watching all the highlights over here on YouTube, just rewatching every highlight that we can. That's all I'm going to be doing. But there is still some hockey left, so we gotta at least be happy about that and, take our wins with our losses, but let's be positive here. We got a couple games. Ducks can still have some fun playing against some heavy playoff contenders right now. So, first off, Sunday, I guess just to let you know, they do only have 3 games left. So that's the first note there. Sunday, that's the game that's next, and it is against the Colorado Avalanche. It is the last home game. So if you are in Orange County and Orange Country, you want to come out, go see the last home game at Honda Center, check out the new in arena entertainment that they've done. If you haven't been to a game yet this season, they've done so much great things over there at the Honda Center. So go check it out. Go to the last home game. It is the fan appreciation night at the Honda Center. And the Avalanche, they've won 6 out of their last 10. Yes, but they did drop their last game to Vancouver, and the Ducks are in that weird funky spot, like they're kind of equivalent to Vancouver but not at times. It's a very interesting dynamic when it comes to the Canucks. So the Ducks have some opportunity to play well. We know that they can play up as well. However, Nathan MacKinnon has been a tear. And I don't know if you saw the news, but Gabriel Landeskog is on a workout contract with the Colorado Eagles. So there is a chance that the Landeskog is going to make it to the playoffs for Avalanche. And I think I heard on the Locked On Avalanche podcast, they were talking about how if he does come back, it's going to be on Easter Sunday, and that literally Landeskog will be risen on Easter Sunday after being out for 3 years instead of 3 days. Kind of a little fun twist there, but who knows? We'll see. The old captain will be back. That would be great for Colorado. But for now, we don't have to worry about him, as the Ducks do not have to worry about playing against him. The Avs are currently in third in the Central, and they have clinched the playoffs with 100 points. So they're pretty much just playing for keeps at this point. But another reason for the Ducks to go out there and just have some fun and play a hard game. Really see how they compare to a squad like Colorado. The last 2 games for Anaheim, not only are they on the road, they are back to back. The Ducks had I'm pretty sure the most back-to-back games this season. I don't remember having so many back-to-backs, at least later in the season, like the Ducks have this year. So Tuesday and Wednesday night, the Ducks will be in action. Tuesday is against the Minnesota Wild. They just had that crazy 8-7 overtime game against the Sharks. There was like 4 different hat tricks in that game. The Wild are on a 2-game win streak, but they do play Vancouver and Calgary before they play Anaheim. So we'll see how that looks when it comes to Tuesday night and whether or not they are still on a win streak or they bow down to the Western Canadian teams. The Wild are in the first wild card spot. They are currently tied with St. Louis at 93 points. They have the first wild card just due to the tiebreaker of more overtime wins, or more regulation wins than overtime wins. Excuse me. And then, so who knows how they'll be doing this? They're going to be really hungry. They're trying to keep that spot and not get bounced out of the playoffs. That's a pretty tight race there right along the wild card. So if they can get a couple points out of Vancouver and Calgary, the 2 teams basically chasing them right now, that'll be huge for the Wild. And then the Ducks can just enjoy the game, or they might be playing spoiler. Who knows? The Ducks could be sealing the fate for the Wild and their playoff contention. So it could be a very interesting turnout by the time we get to Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, the Ducks are headed to the northern land of Winnipeg to take on the Jets. Winnipeg, not only are they in the north, they are the top of the league. They have 112 points right now. They are soaring, cruising up there in high altitude, as the Jets that they are, you could say. But Winnipeg, they've won 6 out of their last 10. They've been on a bit of a tear as well. They play the Blackhawks and the Oilers before Anaheim, so they got a couple games there. Blackhawks, I don't think they're too worried about. The Oilers, however, playoff implications between those 2 teams, so that definitely could be a very big game for the Jets. And Anaheim, not going to be playing spoiler, as the Jets have definitely already secured the playoffs with those 112 points. So a little bit of action and some challenge for the Anaheim squad at the end of the season. That's Wednesday is going to be it for the regular season for them. So enjoy the next few days, embrace it, hold on to it, make some memories, enjoy, go to the Sunday game and at the Honda Center. Be there, because I won't be able to be there. I got a doctor's appointment, darn it. But unfortunately, I won't be able to make the last home game. I'm super sad, but you can go check it out still. Let me know how it is. Just hit me up in the comments, and we'll see how things turn out. And speaking of how things turn out, I got you Monday through Friday. Even though the Ducks end their season on Wednesday, I still got you next week, Monday through Friday. So make sure you tune in, like and subscribe. Go to the YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It takes 30 seconds. It helps me out, and it helps just share the love of Anaheim Ducks hockey. So thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night, until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Once again, I am Kyle Carr. Be good out there.